Hey there, horror fans! It's 2025, and we're going to dive into 10 unforgettable horror games. You know, the kind that make you check under the bed before you sleep. From atmospheric, story-driven journeys to high-octane survival horror, these titles showcase how far the genre has come. So, dim the lights, grab your controller, and let's explore the games that keep us awake at night. Still Wakes the Deep is one of the freshest horror experiences on this list. Developed by the Chinese Room and released in June 2024, it puts you in the boots of Kaz, an electrician on a North Sea oil rig in the 1970s. After an accident, a mysterious entity starts stalking the rig's dark hallways. What makes this game special is its setting. The Bayra rig feels like a character of its own, a blend of industrial claustrophobia and the endless ocean. Reviewers praise the superb voice acting and the way the game juxtaposes man-made structures with supernatural horror. You'll spend much of your time restoring power and searching for your missing crew, and the tension ramps up as every creak hints at the lurking presence. If you're a fan of immersive horror like Outlast or Amnesia, this one's a must-play, though you might want to play with a friend nearby. After more than a decade, Remedy returned to Bright Falls with Alan Wake 2, and it was worth the wait. Released in 2023, this sequel is described as a champion among modern survival horror games. Its beautifully woven story delivers everything you could want from a blockbuster horror title. The game shifts between two protagonists, author Alan Wake trapped in the Dark Place, and FBI agent Saga Anderson investigating cult-like murders. And the dual campaign structure keeps you guessing. Remedy's cinematic flair shines through in its cutscenes and inventive mechanics, and the soundtrack features a Scandinavian rock band that adds to the unease. Available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X or S, Alan Wake 2 mixes psychological horror with action. Just be ready for a few progression-stopping bugs that, might make you feel like a detective yourself. It's a mesmerizing experience that blurs reality and fiction.
FBI, drop the knife!
You might not expect a side-scrolling game to be terrifying, but Little Nightmares proves otherwise. This dark puzzle platformer traps you in the oversized world of Six, a raincoat-wearing child trying to escape the grotesque maw. The side-scrolling format ramps up tension because you can't see what lurks just off screen, and the world is deliberately too big for Six, so every table and hallway feels oppressive. The game's horror comes from sneaking past monstrous cooks and leech-like creatures rather than fighting. Critics note that the feeling of helplessness is balanced by clever escape routes, and domestic spaces are turned into uncanny, unsafe labyrinths. Available on everything from PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X or S to Nintendo Switch and PC, this title shows that sometimes the scariest things are the ones we only catch glimpses of in the shadows. From the mind of Shinji Mikami, creator of Resident Evil, comes The Evil Within 2, a third-person survival horror game that dials up the psychological dread. This sequel retains the gritty gothic atmosphere of the original, but modernizes the experience. You play as Sebastian Castellanos, who dives into a nightmarish world filled with grotesque monsters and shifting realities. He's never quite sure what's real or what's a projection of his own mind. The game's creative creatures and twisted landscapes keep you on edge, and the psychological scare tactics are unforgettable. Available on PS5, Xbox Series XS, PC, and older consoles, The Evil Within 2 successfully modernizes Japanese horror, making it less janky, yet no less terrifying. If you enjoy exploring surreal environments and confronting your character's personal demons, this one will stick with you. If you think horror requires solitude, Dead by Daylight will prove you wrong. This multiplayer title pits one player as a savage killer against 4 survivors trying to fix generators and escape. Coordination and trust with your fellow survivors lead to thrilling and often hilarious moments. The game shines because each match feels like its own slasher film. You can choose from original killers or unlock iconic characters from franchises like Saw, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Available on just about every platform, including PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Switch, and PC, Dead by Daylight proves that being hunted with friends can be just as nerve-wracking as any solo horror experience. It's also one of the best cross-play games, so you can team up no matter the device. Just be prepared for your heart rate to spike when the killer's heartbeat draws near. When the Resident Evil series was starting to feel stale, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard revitalized the franchise by shifting to a first-person perspective. Set in a decrepit farmhouse in Louisiana, you explore the Baker family's estate, a claustrophobic maze where every corner hides something unsettling. The change from third-person to first-person makes the horror feel immediate and personal, and the game even includes a VR mode for an even more immersive scare. Critics call it a breath of fresh air because it respects the series' roots while adopting modern horror sensibilities. It's available on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X/S, older consoles, and even Nintendo Switch, making it widely accessible. With its tight pacing, creepy environments, and a story that hooks you from the start, Resident Evil 7 reminds us why we love this series.
They're all dead.
This house has seen more than you can imagine, and it knows.
No, leave me alone!
Wait!
If you've ever wanted to endure a horror trial with friends, the Outlast Trials might be your nightmare come true. Unlike its single-player predecessors, this entry turns the Outlast formula into a cooperative experience. It meshes puzzles and survival horror so that you're not only fighting for your life, but also, using your brain. Each trial forces you to complete objectives while avoiding grotesque adversaries. And playing with friends doesn't make it any less scary. Originally a single-player franchise, this installment replicates the atmospheric horror of the earlier games and modernizes it for co-op. It's currently available on PC, with console versions expected in the future. If you're looking for a blend of jump scares and anxious teamwork, this game delivers. Just don't scream too loudly into your mic.
Peace. You want control? I'll even give you control, but I'm gonna need you to admit that you don't want to leave me. You've become addicted to the therapy. It's specific pleasures. It's comforting instruction. Addicts don't want to let go. They don't want release. What addicts want, what you want, is relapse.
Frictional Games took its renowned Amnesia series to the trenches with Amnesia: The Bunker. Set during World War I, this survival horror traps you in a claustrophobic bunker where a monstrous beast stalks the shadows. Reviewers say it's not for the faint of heart, but praise the well-rounded world full of secrets, horror, and tragic stories. The game's unscripted creature behavior means each playthrough feels slightly different. Your successes and failures are like truly yours. You must navigate dark tunnels with dwindling light, solve puzzles, and secure dynamite to blow your way to freedom. The oppressive atmosphere and constant threat of the beast keep your nerves frayed. Available on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS4, Amnesia: The Bunker revitalizes the series' legacy while offering unpredictable terror. For fans of psychological horror, Visage is a standout. This first-person survival game is set inside a huge, labyrinthine house where you explore endless mazes filled with the memories of deceased families. The game's uncannily realistic environments make every creaking floorboard feel genuine. It earned a spot on Best Horror lists for its disturbing atmosphere and psychological horror basis. Players should note that Visage may trigger seizures for those with photosensitive epilepsy, so caution is advised. If you decide to play, maybe leave the lights on. The game's intense scares and oppressive mood are designed to get under your skin. Visage is proof that you don't need combat or monsters on screen to create genuine terror. Sometimes, the house itself is the enemy. To wrap things up, we have Alien Isolation, a 2014 classic that remains a benchmark for survival horror. Developed by Creative Assembly, it takes place 15 years after Ridley Scott's 1979 film and casts you as Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley's daughter. You're trapped aboard the Sevastopol space station with a single relentless xenomorph whose AI is smart enough to learn your patterns. The game perfectly captures the feel of the original movie, making you feel as if you're playing through the film. On GameSpot's list, it's praised for how it bottles the cinematic terror of the original Alien. pitting you against malfunctioning androids and backstabbing survivors in addition to the perfect organism. Available on PS5, Xbox Series XS, older consoles, and PC, Alien Isolation remains a terrifying masterpiece, proving that a single enemy can be scarier than an army. Just don't forget to hide in a locker when the hiss of the xenomorph echoes down the corridor.